Yeah.
Yeah, DrTPS. I had sent the brochure. Now you have the time to at least ask me. Because I am also going to be asked all these questions, and I should be clear as well as everybody should be clear that whatever information we send out is absolutely uniform.
I want you to tell me what is the whole program about
Okay.
and how is it going to happen and how are you going to evaluate. You can give me a brief, then I will ask few questions.
Okay, these Family Maker Awards is for basically homemakers. As we know, we are trying to change the nomenclature to be more aspiring. Because right now, when we say homemakers, everybody have the perspective that the person who is doing the homemaking job is not doing anything. And homemaker basically means us only, the roles we play in a home. We are only and only accepting as well as promoting the one role, that is the role of a professional. That is when we go and make money, that is the role we talk about. Of course, careers, business, jobs are very important in our life. They are the ones which makes us, of course, they run our life, economies, everything is important. But apart from that, we all need to go back home and make one, be a part of a home also. Because we all start from a family. So, these Family Maker Awards is the culmination of all the work that I have done in terms of researching about a home. A home is the starting point for each one of us, and of course, as a child, there is a lot of balancing between interdependence, dependence, interdependence and independence. So we are dependent when we are born and somebody is looking after us, and then we grow up and we have to become independent, and then when we get married and when we start a home or a family, there is the concept we have to learn to be interdependent, because everything is interdependent on each other. We don't live in silos. So, what is this Family Maker Award is promoting the family values. And the family values of a parent would be, that is what I was talking about. The values of a family would be promoted, and that would be the criteria for the nominations. And for that, the integrity, honesty, cooperation, respect, all these criteria needs to be, that is the basis of evaluation for the parents. And how I was thinking, I was having discussion with Archana, and you also saw the evaluation criteria. There was objective question as well as subjective questions, and Archana says that don't put where you have to evaluate a parent in terms of these on a scale. You can't do that. So you have to either keep it subjective, but then Ramaswamy sir says that don't keep it long, and you can't have very long questionnaire because people do not write long answers. So I'm in a dilemma right now with the criteria part. So I'm just thinking about how to go about the criteria part so that we find a solution to that, and I'm working on that. So I'm stuck in the criteria part right now. Yes, it's going on in my mind, but apart from that, I've got the final brochure made, and now we need to go to the sponsors to get some kind of a sponsorship, so that firstly, the first step would be, after we get around some, I've made a target of 5 lakhs, because I'm alone, I can't do this alone. So firstly, we need a website. So there would be a digital media involved. First is that. that would be a platform of familymaker.com where people will do the nominations. So that will be there. So with the criteria and how everybody is going to nominate, that has to be built. Then after that, there would be the event. So there would be event management company which would be involved with us, because there will be the trophies, then there would be the venue, then there would be the so many other things. They are calling people, and then on the day of the venue, how do you, there will be passes, printing of the passes, then there are going to be so many things involved in that function. So these two people, and the digital marketing person, the website person will do digital marketing also. So this is why the right now I've just got the brochure made, and I'm approaching people just to talk to them that this is to open their mind, that this is what is required, and we should think about this, and if you can support us in this awards. So that is what is the
What is
situation.
the ultimate objective of doing all this? Which I thought the first meeting I asked, I did not get a very clear answer. What is the objective? Why are we doing it? I'm not asking why are you doing it. I'm asking why are we doing it?
The ultimate objective that I have in what I think is that everybody should stand up. See, now nobody like I, you, or anybody does not have the right to do their own work. See, if I do my own work in my own house, it is not considered work. That means I do not have the right to do my own work.
No, again, you are too generic. I'm asking, you have now an activity in plan. What is the objective of that whole program? One single sentence. Why am I doing this award program?
For respect for homemakers or family makers.
Okay. So, once you make a website, it needs to be marketed. It
Yes.
needs to go to people. It's a huge effort. Either you are doing it on a Facebook or an Instagram or a Twitter, or maybe that is much easier because people go to that. If you have a website, I have got a website. I also have got a Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, and all that. All those social media has much more clicks than my website.
Absolutely.
Unless you, I keep everywhere my website also under every video, but I don't think anybody goes and look at it because they know what I am delivering is already there in this. So once upon a time, social media and website was having like a standard government organization. All that needs a website to credit. Oh, you have a credit, right? They will ask whether there is a website or not. When I was put into Wikipedia once, on one basic question asked to us, why I don't have a website. So this is considered as one of the credit, but I don't think to do a service, to do some activity, you really need a website today. You can also do it on different one. So one great expenditure which is going to be there, and plus the marketing through that website doesn't work in the way what you are thinking. Number one. Number two, are we going to spread this message of happy homes to a very selected few people who have gotten the hi-fi standards where they approach, or with the same effort or lesser effort, are we going to take the same message to millions of people over a period of time? Because once you start working, it takes another 6 months for every evaluation, everything to happen. I'm sure your target is not 3 months or 2 months, right? It's going to be 6 months.
Absolutely.
And that 6 months is 180 days, for which you are targeting a 2 hours program, maybe 3 hours program, in which even it comes into a national newspaper, the number of people who are going to look at it will become very, very less. Got it? So, does all this effort really worth? Or is there any strategy with which you can approach this? Or have you gone to any other media? I'm sure when you go to an event manager, he will tell you this is what is to be done, right? Because his job is that. He is doing business with that. And I am not a rich person where I wanted to do a philanthropic job where I am putting my fund. We are all becoming beggars by asking somebody else to support my program. Why should I do a begging job where, what is that ultimate credit? If somebody asks me, if this is what my objective is, there are many methods to be done without this much of a large fund. So I am just asking an open question, which I asked in the first. We had a similar discussion in which I asked these questions, but there were many people and nothing has happened after that.
So, social media today only, I was just putting it on the thing. My interview came in the radio in Noida.
Okay.
So, I've gone to radio and it's a Hindi program. So, I'm see, basically the masses are Hindi speaking. It is the villagers, it is the ground people we have to reach. And it is not the elitist class because they have the ability and the resources to keep mates. So the problem they will not feel. The feeling of the problem comes to those people who are in the villages and normal middle class people who are facing this problem of burnout. You know that.
Mona, when I go to some schools, I have got a great activity which I do with the children. The activity is, I keep asking children, how much mark you rate yourself as a daughter or as a son? Second question, how much your parents will give you? How do you think you are a daughter or you are a son for your father, for your mother? Third question, how do you rate your father and mother? Do you give 100 out of 100 to your father? You can see in most of my lectures I keep doing it. Not today. I started 20 years back. And then I will ask them, I don't do it in those schools because I don't have time to go through that. When I conduct camps, one of the program which I do very specifically is, tell me why you rated your mother 60 but not 100. What is that is lacking? Assume you have given 100 out of 100 to your father. What is that he has done great to rate him as 100? If Mona is ready, we can do it in 100 schools in the next 6 months.
Absolutely.
180 days. 2 days, 1 school, or 1 day, 2 schools. 1 day, 3 schools can be covered. 2 hours, 2 hours, 2 hours program. This is how I used to do my programs. Understood? And this evaluation will tell you a real evaluation of their parents by their children. They are innocent. They are not, and you are covering a large spectrum of group. And that spectrum of group will be, I am sure this can be done by many people parallelly who are all going to different schools. And if you, I am sure you have to have 10 to 15 people under your umbrella to make this happen. And I am sure they will not credibly doing this with full focus as what Mona is. Because everybody has got different jobs. I am sure, but this can be once in a week or twice in a week, go to some schools, do a program, associate each other to find a place where we can go together and then do. I am sure this is a real evaluation of parents. Number one. Number two, in 2010 when I left my job, I was in a small village where 90 children were sponsored by a very rich man. And I was given full free hand to empower them from the normal, very, very, very low level life to a highest life. What you can do, you do it. That was the credit given to me. No fund restrictions will be there. You do what you want. I changed their uniform twice. I gave job to their parents. One biggest problem that community in a very remote place in Kerala, every teacher, every parent says my children will never improve in their life. They are going to fail in 10th class. They are in 10th class Malayalam medium. I picked them up and then put them into English medium. Everybody asked, when they are failing in Malayalam medium, how do you expect them to perform in English medium? Only one question I asked. Anyway, they are going to fail in Malayalam medium. Let them fail in English medium with a greater credit of failing in English medium than in Malayalam medium. I take it very jokingly, I did that program, but my intention was, I know why children are failing. They are not failing because teachers are bad. They are not failing because the education system is bad. They are failing because their parents are bad. And I found at least 60% of them are single parent, either divorced or died or deceased, went away, no divorce. They don't know where their parents are. 80% of them have not seen train in their life. In 2010 in Kerala, highly literate place, where train is only 20 kilometers away, there is a rail, but they have not even traveled 20 kilometers away from their village. First thing what I did is I took them to Goa. The idea was to give them a courage to speak in English. I left them in the Goa beach, asked them to interview people who are all there, who are from different parts of the world. Understand geography, understand history, understand, talk to them, get a courage. Somebody's money, DrTPS idea. So I could implement it very easily. I had a target, I had a motto, I had a objective and scope of what I am doing. There was a rich man who was coming to sponsor me. I could do it very easily. One basic thing what I did was, after getting back, they are in a good rapport with me. I asked them to keep a budget of their family. Every month, how much you earn, how much you spend. No questions. You just ask parents, just ask mother, ask father, ask relatives, brother, somebody is earning, how much you got and where this money is going. We found after 3 months of survey, it is not a direct survey asking a lot of questions, it's an indirect survey. After analyzing, I found most of them are spending money on lottery tickets. Most of them are spending money on drinks and smoking. Most of them are spending money on medicine. Because food is ration. You don't have to spend. Under the poverty line below that, they get free food. Got it? So I found the basic requirements of food, clothing and all not much spent. But celebrations, they spend a lot of money. Attending marriages, attending thread ceremony, attending death ceremony. I did a budgeting and I told these children, you are not investing anything on education. Because everything is free. Food is free. So the basic requirements, you are not worried at all. That government has taken care of. But the other thing, actually lavishly you are spending, which even a rich man will not spend that much. This budgeting just told them like this, but they went back to their family and they told them, this is not the way to do things. Let us change. And today, after 13 years, I can see 37 of them are postgraduates. 2 of them have educated PhD and 1 from UK. There is a Wipro project in which 6 of them got job immediately after that. 37 of them are on WhatsApp contact even today with me after 13 years. Many of them become local teachers. There are few people who failed, I am not saying, but I could make 70% of them entirely different, which they would not never become. So why I am saying this, a project which I involved in 8 months could make a difference not only 60 or 70 people, but a family to a village. I started at least 7 small scale industries among them, because these children, 90 of them want uniform. 3 times, 3 pair, 9 uniforms. Who will stitch this? 9 into 9, 480 stitching job. I asked all the parents to gather and ask anybody who knows stitching. There were at least 10 of them who learned stitching, but they are not doing it. They all learned. They spend money. Why? They said they don't have tailoring machines. I said, all of you join together. We are going to meet the bank tomorrow. You will get loan. You will get tailoring machine. And the first 400 uniform stitching job will be given by me. Understood? Small such jobs I started. I'm sure it makes a difference in their life. So when I do job, when I invest my time, I am looking at how it can improve life. I am sure your celebration of giving awards will go to a high profile family who will fight even after that, or during coming for the program also they will be fighting. After the program also they will be fighting. But it doesn't make any difference in their life. We are investing our time. We are investing somebody's money. We are becoming beggars. I'm sure this is a good initiative. But how to evaluate only I am against. So what could be done is, let us go to the ground. Let us talk to people. Let us get it happen. We can have webinar of different school. We need not personally go also. Ask them to fill a form parallelly. Ask details. A Google form can be filled up by children, which doesn't require any effort. You have to only connect to teachers. If you can connect to teachers, you can connect to parents, you can reach out to large number of people. I am sure the evaluation will become much more reliable. And you are sending a message. See, I keep telling all the children, when you evaluate your father, mother, grandfather, I remember when I was sitting in Delhi, I asked a small child, 3 years old, how much mark you will give it to your father? He said 0. I asked mother, 0. I asked who is looking after you at home? My grandpapa. And all the time the grandfather is finding fault with the daughter-in-law and the son. So this 3-year-old is not evaluating. Actually, the evaluation comes from what grandfather pumped inside. Understood? So it is not a criteria to ask a question to the grandfather, how is your son and son-in-law? I'm sure he will give bad remarks. So the questionnaire making is a very tricky thing. In research programs, we have a real questionnaire which talks about how consistency can be maintained. Same question may be repeated in a different form, in a different fashion, in a different style, where I know this question I asked already, and if there is a contradiction, I will not even evaluate that candidate. So consistency check. Okay, so so many such things have to be done. I'm sure an educated fellow, when they do it, they will evaluate what is going to happen and they will do all this. And I don't know whether Mona lived in US, any European countries. There are no servant maids. The husband and the wife both goes for job. Both will drive their own vehicle. They are totally independent. I was teaching Bhagavad Gita in a temple. Husband and wife both comes from same house. They will drive separately and come. You are talking about independence. That's the independence they have. Exactly 10 to 11 is my class. 11 o'clock, both of them will jump up. If somebody want to speak to me, either husband or wife, they will start talking to me. The other fellow don't even say tata bye bye, they will go. And his job or her job as they reach home is to prepare their lunch. Because there is no concept of servant maid. Everything is automated. I don't think in Indian situation, even an average, moderate, slightly government employed or private employed people can survive without a servant maid. Today my wife is not here. Just I finished grinding atta for dosha and idli. Today servant maid did not come. So the servant maid has sent a substitute. And I told that substitute lady, don't come. I can wash. I am only here and we have sufficient my breakfast, lunch. As soon as I finish, I wash everything. So nothing is left for washing. You don't have to come. She was looking at me and saying, there is nothing to wash. Yeah, I said nothing to wash. I finished my job because I am only here today.
Great, sir.
Understood?
But not everybody in India, not everybody is like you.
No, that is because I'll tell you, I have lot of children who come to me say that no, when they come for civil service training to me, the first job given is make a tea for me. A graduate BTech who comes for a civil service training to me, I will ask them make a tea. And she says, I don't know how to make a tea. I said the first job is I will teach you how to make a tea. You can see DrTPS making tea. A video is kept. How to make tea systematically I taught. And I told, don't tell I don't know. Those days, this cooking was not famous in YouTube. I created this long back. Very, very long back when YouTube was not active. But I recorded it and kept it. Understood? So, I am sure that student today is in US. And this is the lesson which I learned. Which I know my parents did not teach. Because parents think that, I asked a question when I was in Delhi 2 years. The best of the best schools, when I go, I ask all the children to raise hands if you did not had breakfast. I tell you 30 to 40% of the students come to school without a breakfast. The second question what I ask, why? Immediately they will say father is working, mother is working, or they came late, no breakfast is made, only lunch is packed and given. Some schools provide lunch, therefore breakfast is skipped. Same thing happens, you go to the lowest of the lowest family, breakfast is not prepared because lunch is given free in the school and there is no money to make breakfast for them. They don't have the habit of having breakfast. Either rich or poor in India are almost the same. Either too rich or too poor. The moderate people only have problems. So our evaluation, I think, must go to the moderate. So the best method is to approach children, ask them to, earlier also I said, let the students speak about their parents and send a video. This is the message which I sent. I think this could work without much of expenditure. Maybe end of the day, or maybe both can run. Maybe if somebody is ready to do that way, I think we should have different approaches for evaluation. Look at which is more potentially going up. What is it happening? Right. And I remember long back, there was a program which was conducted in Bangalore. One of my friend who done that, the mother-in-law, the best mother-in-law award was given.
Yeah, there was. What was the criteria?
This was a wonderful program in which, who is the best mother-in-law? The daughter and the son who are staying, or they can evaluate everybody is a mother-in-law. I am sure either you have a son or a daughter, I am sure their spouse becomes your daughter-in-law or a son-in-law. Therefore, you are a father-in-law or a mother-in-law.
Absolutely.
Understood? This is a better method to evaluate a person than evaluating a father and a mother. Because there will be much more openness. But you need to have secrecy in, you cannot tell this to everybody, right? That, understood? So there are many things you can look at it. You don't have to look at it only in terms of the happy family maker is a beautiful name. But happy family is not spoiled by father or mother most of the time. It is mostly spoiled by you yourself started telling, but the second part of the story is after marriage, right? Understood? So after marriage means immediately you should talk about in-laws only. Got it? You can have an award for best daughter-in-law, best son-in-law, best father-in-law, best mother-in-law than best daughter, best son, best father, best mother.
Best parent. So
Yeah.
let's have these awards also.
Yeah, I'm saying you can add. I'm not saying you don't do anything. I'm saying add some more things so that because you are anyway into a big effort. And that, I'm not saying you should not have a website. But if you wait for a website and after that do it, I'll tell you marketing website is much more difficult than creating a website.
No,
Create-
website. Understood, because my website also, I think there's lots of very less. I don't know how many people visit, follow. Whereas Facebook, I have more followers, around 2,500 and 4,000 there. So I know people interact over there much better. But the problem is that there has to be one page where everything fits in. What happens, the website just fits, accumulates all the leads to one place.
100%. See, you can see my website in which YouTube is linked there. My Facebook is linked there. My Twitter is linked there. So whatever, I don't look at my website at all. But whatever I do elsewhere goes and already fed there.
Absolutely.
And I have a blog, nearly 90 blogs. And each and every blog I fill it goes into my website. So I can work on my blog. I don't have to know my website, how it is managed, because somebody else does it for me. But blog is easier for me to manage. Website is not that easy for a normal person to manage, right?
Absolutely.
So link with all these what you already have to the website. Website can be a very minimum thing.
Absolutely.
If you do that, I'm sure you can look at my website. It's a long back, nearly 13-14 years back, but design is so stable. No remaking is done.
I'll do that.
Yeah.
I'll see.
And you can see number of blogs. If you go to blog, all the blog list will come. If you go to schedule, all the schedule will come. I may change my style of scheduling, year wise, month wise, whatever style I want, because all of them becomes a new blog in my blog, which is already linked there. So as many number of pages which I create in my blog, that many number of pages will come into my website without any intervention.
Okay, that is very nice.
These are all great things. You just look at my blog and then see, go to website and look at my books, look at my blog, my poetry, my books, everything is kept there. A single page, everything.
TPS Sasi Kumar.
DrTPS, you just type in, you will reach my website. You go to my, again I will tell you, you go to Google Map and type DrTPS, you will see 3 houses. My location will be there, my pictures will be there, my website will be there, my houses will be there, my activity link will be there. Wherever you go, either you go into Google Map or Google or any social media, you just type DrTPS continuously, you will reach there. Just do it.
I'll do that.
So I think it's a great effort, not a small job. Unless you keep thinking, why am I saying, why I wanted this have to happen? Every day there is a discussion. The other day you called a meeting, I was ready. See, we suspend some programs and come immediately, you say it is not there, right? So 2 times it happens, 3rd time people will drop out. If they are serious. If they are not serious, they will still come because they don't have any other job. And such people will never contribute. They may tell what Mona is doing is fantastic, very good. You do it. Understood? You may feel very happy with them. I am not like that. But what happens to me when I involve, I keep looking at it, I keep tracking it, I keep assembling activities. I actually, from your message, I must have posted something together and then made another JPEG and then posted it onto my Facebook. I keep in different styles and post it again. So that every day something new comes, right? So it needs to be, and as you, if somebody says, oh, this is how it used to be, create this video also I am recording. I am recording the audio separate. I am recording it there on my mobile. I am recording on screen also. And I will edit this and post to my YouTube. You can see all my programs, I do that. Assume somebody is very serious. If they have some suggestion, ask them to record a video and send it to you or post onto your YouTube, so that people know that there is an activity, this person is involved in that, right? Let that be a negative statement, let that be a criticism, let that be against this, let that be a positive aspect which you have to work it, not this way, the other way. Ask him, tell me your way, we will work in that method. Understood? There are a lot of activities happening. So we should only link them and then put them together, get a rapport with them and then put them into the fold, because either it is education or it is job or it is business, everywhere family is involved. So you are working with a common factor which is associated with many things. There will be a chamber of commerce. There will be somebody else who is running a NGO. There will be somebody else who is running a business. There will be somebody else who is running a school or a college or something. Connect to somewhere, create. Today it's very simple, we can have a webinar. I don't know whether you have a Zoom license or you are running it free.
It's licensed.
Licensed. So you can run across for long hours, right? I don't have. So I only use Gmeet. But with the Gmeet, 100 people for last 3 years, can you guess, I have done more than 2,000, 3,000 programs. Today this is my 3rd program. So yesterday I had 3 programs. Every day when I am at home, almost 3 programs. Today you said 9 o'clock. Today somebody wanted 9 o'clock. I said, I have got something urgent coming. Your will be tomorrow 9 o'clock. So I reschedule like that and then put my activities. Immediately edit them, post them. I am only doing all this. So when I do that, what I am also listening to me once again and seeing whether I did some mistake. Should I correct this next time? Got it? So I take it very seriously. So I'm sure we can connect to maximum number of people. Ask each one of them to connect to little bit number of people. The schools are going to reopen. I'm sure people can get into small groups in which you can have a questionnaire circulated to students or dictate to them and tell them to write a Google Meet or send them a rank only you have to send, right? Give your number, put number, we can make a Gmeet and do that. Such things can be done very easily. Right. The first ranking and second one, see generally what I do is when I conduct camps also I ask them to rank. I will not tell them I am going to ask you why. But next day I will ask them, why did you give 20%? Why not? Why lost in 80%? You tell me what is wrong with your mother. Got it? They will have 1 or 2 points to tell. Understood? When I ask them, I said, what are you thinking now? Yeah, I think this can be improved like this. When I ask them how good a student you are, immediately they have a realization, I am not a good student because of the reasons, let me improve. So the idea is not to evaluate. The idea is to see, why am I going for a blood test to find out my parameters? It is not to tell my parameters are bad. If my parameters are bad, I must improve it, right? So whenever you evaluate, the reason for evaluation should be for correction. If that correction is not happening, what I am doing, what Mona is doing is useless.
So what you said that we keep a scale of evaluation for the children to give to everybody is necessary. When I said the scale, that is necessary.
Yeah. See, what I do is generally I will ask the children also, how do you think your father will evaluate your mother? How good a wife she is for your husband? Or how good a husband is for your mother? You guess. You tell me how much mark you will give. If you think you are a father and your wife is not good, your mother is not good, tell me how much mark they will give. Then they will say, this is why it is. I am sure this is where generally they fight. So I can sort it out. They find their own solutions.
Very good idea that you said criteria for evaluation should be given to them to come up with.
So that they will find solutions. What can be the solution? See, there is no point in telling somebody is good or bad. The last point should be, tell what can be done to improve this. Who is creating problem at home? I am sure people will change with maturity, right? So sometimes what happens is, at the younger age, what impression they have, they will keep and they will never re-evaluate their parents. But sometime people when they stay, see what happens up to 10th class, somebody stayed in their house. After 10th, 11th and 12th graduation, they were out. What impression they had on their parents is only up to 10th class. They did not get enough. I remember when I was in Delhi, one student came. She was failing in most of the subjects. Both parents brought me for a counseling to find out why this daughter is not performing well. I asked only one question to the daughter, when did you sleep on your mother's lap last? She said, I don't even remember. She said, daughter in 9th class, she never got an opportunity. Mother is not having any job. Job means professional job. Job is not there. Business is not there. She is a happy homemaker in Mona's definition.
Then also.
Yeah, she is at home.
Then, oh my God.
And 9th class daughter did not get an opportunity to sleep on her lap. I asked, go and sleep. She said, no. I said, in front of them, I asked them, go and sleep on mother's lap. She said, no. I asked that girl, first time meeting me, the parents got that girl for counseling to me. I said, better come and sleep on my lap. She was almost there for half an hour. I had a blue jeans. After that, when she got up, it was full wet. She was weeping all the time. Because I had few questions. I asked why you did not perform well in examinations. She says, for what should I do it? My mother doesn't recognize me. My father doesn't recognize me. They will only ask study, study, study. And if I don't study, they scold me. You know, the father says, he is a very rich man. He says, I have given her everything what she wants. I said, what is that you have given? Furniture you have given. A furniture shop can give. Money you have given. A finance company can give. The food you have given. A hotel can give. What is that you have given as a father and a mother? Nothing is given. I am a psychology counseling person for last so many years. Not advertised, but people come to me with their problems. I speak to them with my personal contacts. I have changed a lot of people in their life. So I told, no problem with the child. Tomorrow onward she will do well. Provided you recognize her. You tell me who is wrong. I am sure if you ask the parents, they will say, I am very good parent. Because I have given everything what she wants. Right? The child is not at all good because she is not performing well in the schools. So the best method probably to evaluate the parents. I am not talking from just blah 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 now. It's over a long experience. I can give hundreds of such examples. Understood? So my evaluation is, children are very good in evaluating their parents. Probably I am a very good public social worker. Probably my kids will say I am not a good father. Possible. Understood? If I don't make my children to feel that I am a good father, whatever I do in socially is actually useless. Got it?
Very good.
Yeah.
Very good. So the evaluation criteria has to be such that the children evaluate the parents, because that is where we will get the real issue.
Sincere. I am not saying only this. I am saying this also can be added, and this will have a more authentic, more reliable, more sincere, and that will go as a message to the families, so that there is a change going to happen. Understood? We have got a great chanting when the father is dead and I will take my father for the cremation in the cremation ground. The son who is going to fire, when the father is kept on the firewood, I have to chant a mantra which says, Vayu Ranilam Amrudamadetam Basmandam Sharidam Om Kruto Smara Krudam Smarami. I am going to fire you, my father, and you are going to be ashes. And Vayu Ranilam Amrudamadetam Basmandam Sharidam. You are going to join in the air. That's what I am going to do. I will fire you and you will become Basmam, ashes only at the end. Om Kruto Smara Krudam Smarami. Think what is that you have done in your life. The son is asking the father or the mother, before firing, addressing the dead body, tell me what is that you have done in your life. I am sure our Vedic scriptures are not foolish to get an answer from the dead body. Actually, it is to remind each one of us when we are living. A day will come, I will be evaluated by the society. I will be evaluated by my children. How good I am. So I have to improve myself today. So I am sure when you are making this to happen among the children, they will become more matured. At least their family will become much better. They know that, oh, this is the way I looked at my parents. So my children should not look at me like this. When I have got a small Life Made Simple book in which I say, age 3, my father was great. My mother was great. Because whomever I have seen in my house, all of them were known to my father, mother. Guest comes and they come because my father and mother is known to them. In 4, 5, 6 years, when I started going to my school, I found my teachers are much better than my parents. because there are so many children under them. And my parents had only 1 or 2 children, right? And they were becoming 8 years, 9 years, 10 years, 11 years, 12 years, 13 years old. You ask who is the worst person in the world, that they will tell my teacher is worst, my parents are worst, my friends are best.
Absolutely.
Understood? It is there in my book. You can download my Life Made Simple book. In the few first pages, this is explained like this. I wrote it in 2007 in Delhi only. The book was written in Delhi. And then you ask those children when they are 22, 25, when they are into love affair, they have got their own world, they hide and do many things. And you ask them, who is your greatest enemy? They will tell, my parents are my greatest enemy. They don't understand us. The us is different. Earlier the us was me and my father and mother. Now the us means I and my spouse, or maybe my girlfriend or a boyfriend, right? Assume that they got married, they got a child, and when their children become 3 years old, this fellow must be 30 years old. You ask them, who is the great person? They will tell, my father was great, my mother was great. Now I know how difficult it is to manage a child. When I was 3 years old, they took care of me so well, and I am not able to take care of my kids so well. Understood? When I become 54 years old, now if you ask me a question, now I am 58 years old. If you ask me a question, who is the best fellow in the world, I will tell otherwise also I keep telling all my lectures, I keep mentioning my mother. I lost my father when I was 4 years old. I keep telling my father was great, my mother was great. And I keep telling my children are great. If at all there is a worst fellow in my family, and it's me. Understood?
Self-deprecating. No, you should not do that.
No, it takes long. No, I remember my eldest brother, instead of my father who took care of me, was my eldest brother. He objected to whatever I wanted to do in most of my cases, because he was very strict. He wanted to take care of all family. He had 3 sisters, 3 younger brothers, taking care of a large family. When he was 22, he has had this family on his head. I remember when he was 60, 70 years old, he used to tell that I couldn't provide what you wanted really. And I objected most of the things. I am a PhD in mathematics because my brother objected to saying that you cannot learn mathematics. I said, I will show you that I can take PhD in mathematics. I actually took it as a challenge against my brother. Number 1. Number 2, from a space department, I wanted to go to academics in Kerala. My brother was a professor and he knows Kerala academics. He said, don't come here, it's the worst place you can come. I got director's job in Kerala, academic staff college. He said, don't come here. I said, I am going to come. He said, don't come, it's a worst place. I said, if it is worst, I am going to make it good. I challenged him, and 2 years I made it good. And then he kept on calling me in different places. He introduces me saying that, no, I am so lucky and happy that I have got a brother like this. Beginning he was not like that, but I challenged him and said, I will show that who I am. He is not with me now. When I went back to my hometown to conduct a lot of programs just because I want to be with my brother. I left my job. I wanted to go back to my hometown and stay with him for some more time because he is more than my father. And if I don't do that, I know when I retire, I am not yet retired. So by the time I lost my brother, right? If I would not have gone and spent 3 years, 4 years with him, all my camps in my home, which is an old 200-year-old house, my strength was my eldest brother. Got it? Though at some point of time, at the time of +1, +2, if you would have asked me, I said he is not in tandem with me. He says I am not good. Doesn't matter. So I am sure the evaluation keeps changing by age.
Absolutely.
Understood? So at what level we are evaluating and saying, if my kids were saying that no, I am very strict and I am not a good father, Maybe their company, nobody is very strict and they think that most of my students stay with me for years together, 15 years, 20 years. But beginning they have tough time. The other day I went to Bangalore, I had an interaction with the BEL, Bharat Electronics Limited. There was a boy who was a BTech, I used to scold him every day. He used to be, thinking that I am the worst fellow for him. But still he used to come because I used to teach him something. To learn, I was very strict. You can listen BEL DrTPS. The opening remarks as an introduction by one of the senior manager there today. He invited me there and then he was introducing. I am able to speak English today because of this man, DrTPS. I used to scold him because his English was not good. His social skill was not good. I used to hear him, but he was not in contact for 3-4 years thinking that I am his enemy. It took another 3 years for him to realize, yeah, there was a man who was behind me for making me right. I must go back to him. Got it?
Absolutely.
So sometime at that point of time the evaluation may be wrong, but I am sure when you do an evaluation you realize, oh, I did a wrong way of assessing. I should rejudge. Assume that somebody is wrong. Maybe after 3 years I will rectify them. So our aim is to not to evaluate, give an award, give a recognition. Tapat marna, wo hamara kaam nahi hai. We have to make small difference in somebody's life. If that can be done, I am sure we have done our job. At least few people, if we can influence with our activity, there is a great job which we have done.
Absolutely. Now I understood why you asked me what is the main reason.
See, I keep saying always when we define a research program, the first thing what I ask, even a teacher when he teaches in the class, the first thing what I ask is write down your objective and scope. What is my objective? Why am I doing it? What is the scope? Will I be able to reach out to everybody? No, I will not be able to. I will be able to reach out to a very few section in which they become socially impactable tomorrow because they become torchbearers. The one reason what we are doing, I remember we had I am associated with many activities. One of them was an ashram in my hometown. We decided we are going to give the person who has got value system, great value system. Right? What are the value system? Maybe empathy, righteousness, helping nature, all these. How do we evaluate was a question. So what we did was, I asked the teachers and the students to identify, not among them, identify somebody who is not at all related to the school. No principal, no teachers, no students, none of your parents. Identify somebody from the society and tell what is that great social impact which he is making in a small way. He need not be a politician. Identify such a person and then call him as a chief guest in your assembly program. Got it? You need not make them very famous. Small school in that locality, a known person, identify somebody, and any teacher, any student, somebody can suggest this. Number one. And number two, that person, very innocent, he may not be able to give a public speech or nothing. Just recognize him and give a small shawl which will not cost you more than 10 rupees or 15 rupees those days. Good enough. He got a recognition, number one. Number two, ask class teacher to suggest one student who has got shown some empathy, some sympathy, some right things, some correction, some cleaning, taking care of somebody's activity. Identify one student from each classroom. See, there are 20 classrooms, 20 students. Let this person who comes from the society just give a shake hand to them or give a small chocolate or something as a gift. So the principal is not great, teachers are not great, we are recognizing somebody as a chief guest who is not related, and they are recognizing the student. You know what happens? At least that student who got a chocolate for being sincere in his life, from tomorrow onwards he will become sincere. I kept saying, maybe the teachers are wrong in recommending somebody, doesn't matter. But you are creating one student who is sincere from that day onwards, because he got an award, right?
Absolutely.
Understood?
Very true.
We did it in many schools. And next month, again do the same thing. One small towel, which is like a decoration given in the program in any place. And plus few chocolates, nothing great. Or maybe if you have got a book shawl, buy some book and then give it to them as a gift. That could be Vivekananda's messages, or maybe Chinmaya messages, Shankara's messages, something related to our tradition. Give to them. So let them, once you get such books, you have to open it and read it once. Got it? These are small things with not much expenditure, and this program ran for years together. I don't know now. I am not in contact. This is what we have done. So small things can make a lot of differences. That's only what I wanted to tell. We have spent almost an hour now. I thought I will ask you a lot of questions, but it went the other way.
Given me lot of many things to think about. Very relevant things. I'm thinking about the criteria and small things. Actually, yes, I've done a lot of webinars, I've done a lot of online things, and I've tried to do, at least for last, from 2015, I've done Santulan workshop and online workshops, and I've done so many webinars and mother leadership, home, father leadership, every type of mental health. I've done a lot of things. Now I wanted to take it on the ground. That's why this awards came. Now what you said is very food for thought. It is not the awards that is the main idea. It is the change that I want to get along. That is the main idea which I have to work on.
If you can tie up with some TV fellow and create a half an hour slot daily basis, I am sure you can reach into many schools, and then they will definitely no TV fellow will directly speak to you. There are agents who can talk to the TV fellow and they create the production activity. And talk to such people where you can get a slot. And then I am sure when you are doing this program in the schools, they can cover. So that will become the beginning, and then from each school select a few people who are really asking a lot of questions, who are interacting, and such people we will tell that we are going to screen it in so and so TV. Definitely most of the schools will open it up for you.
So the program would be called what? It's not. It's an evaluation.
It's a family transformation through younger or the teen or the youth or some way you can tell.
Or we can say, it's a very nice word you use, family transformation program.
Family transformation program, reaching out to families through the children. That's what we are doing, right? The role of family transformation by the students or the youth or the teenagers. We are not looking at young children, or maybe now today even the teen word doesn't come for 12 year, only 13 to 19. But I'm sure as a teenager, age 9 or 10 also is teenage now. Correct? They are maturing more earlier than
Absolutely.
Earlier.
It's all about social media now, DrTPS, and there is so much of nonsense there that everything is known.
So once we do that, I'm sure there will be a lot of people who can associate, then people will come, all that will happen. So identify somebody who can do, because you have some radio contact. I used to do in Noida with radio programs. What I used to do was, I was there in 90.4 IMS, Institute of Management Sciences in Noida, Sector 52. Every week I used to do a program. There were students who wanted to get trained for radio communication. So what I used to tell them was, ask some very specific topic I will give. Ask them to go to different mall and interview people. Record everything. And then come to the studio. The recorded will be played, I will answer the questions.
Okay.
So it looks like the live they are asking, but I am not live asking. Actually, it is all recorded in different mall, different bus stop, at different places. And then they will come with a recorded version and the questions will be played. The anchoring person will speak that this person is speaking. What is that Dr. TPS you want to tell? Then I will tell my views. That was the time when we had a lot of moon mission, such programs, and microbiology came. So many things. Any topic which is of concern, the science and religion, radio Dr. TPS, Noida. You can see most of my recordings, and it was a mixed language, both English, Hindi, and all that. I lost most of them because I didn't had. Those days YouTube was very much restricted. It will only give 2 minutes upload. But I had a huge bunch of CDs which I kept. And during COVID, I picked up all the old ones and then started reformatting, cleaning it up, putting into new format, and then uploading. It's a huge effort. I've got bunch of maybe thousands of CDs recorded programs from 2000 onwards. Before that, I didn't record. 2000 onwards, I recorded. I kept this recorder and then kept recording audio. And the video was not there. So I put some pictures of old pictures of mine and then put to this now.
Okay. That is good. Chalo, Dr. TPS, what I'll do is I'll format this, put it into the points that you have said. I'll make it a minutes of meeting because there are a lot of things that you've said are very relevant, because this will help me now structure the criteria part, because I need to crack that to move ahead. That is also very important part we need to crack to move ahead. How will we get the nominations? Because there has to be certain criteria which is clear to all of us. How will we evaluate them?
No, see, there could be multiple methods. I always believe there should not be one method. रंग है अनेक चित्र एक राष्ट्र का, right? खंड है अनेक, but गीत एक राष्ट्र का. So many are there. Sound is different. पंथ है अनेक, but your essay is only one. Understood?
अंडरस्टूड. मुझे थोड़ा सा आपको समझने में टाइम लगेगा क्योंकि आप बहुत लेवल हाई है, तो मैं उसको अच्छे से समझ के उसको निकालती हूँ कि कैसे निष्कर्ष, क्योंकि एकदम ठीक कह रहे हैं आप, अलग अलग तरीके से होंगे, एक तरीके से हो नहीं सकता, क्योंकि बिकॉज एवरीबडी इज सो डिफरेंट, सबका अलग नजरिया होता है, तो वो केटर कैसे कर सकते हैं? कोई ना कोई तो तरीका अलग, थोड़ा वेरिड होगा.
No, last 2 months I have crossed the whole India. I was there in Amritsar, Punjab, Chandigarh University, philosophy department, then went to Kashi and went to Hampi. I went to Tamil Nadu, I went to Karnataka, I went to Kerala, I was in West Bengal, I was in Jharkhand, I was in Bihar, then I went to Kathmandu, I went to Everest Base Camp.
And I read your poem, this was so nice.
See, what I am doing is I am traveling across India. No, everything is an experience. When you go to Jharkhand, I went to one of the small schools there, which was called Vivekananda School. I went for an inauguration of a great school, but I said, let me also go to a small school where not much importance is there. So I went to a school. I asked how many of you have seen cinemas in cinema theatre. Out of 150, only one girl has seen a cinema theatre. Can you believe?
God.
We are living in India. We are talking about great things on internet. Only one girl out of 150, 8th, 9th, 10th grade children.
I think it's gone down to the mobile only. Now
No, see, at least in a life you should have experiencing a cinema theatre, right?
Absolutely. What is a cinema theatre? You don't know. God.
This is what life is. So it's not as we think. Everything is not as rosy as we think.
very rightly said, sir. Let me, Dr. TPS, let me put that down on the thoughts. Let me put my mind to it, and let me refine so that I have more discussion with you, so that we get this across in a very rightful way. Thank you. Thank
Pranams.
you so much.
Just wait, don't kill the process because